Good afternoon, I'm Jeff Lyons. It is 2:30 here on Thursday, February the 19th. This is the afternoon streaming show. We're just going to do weather today. It is the first alert weather day, and we have some weather to show you. So first off, we have a tornado watch for the entire tri-state. That will go until 8 o'clock tonight. That was issued a little while ago and was primarily triggered by the potential for some tornadoes, obviously. Now, our thunderstorm risk actually was upgraded earlier today for the northern half of the tri-state. If you were watching Michael Fecca this morning, you saw that. And of course, Arden had an update on it as well. Level 3 of 5, but mainly north of I-64, and then a level 2, and then lesser risk the farther south you go. The reason for the change was better dynamics there for tornadoes, perhaps significant tornadoes, EF2 or greater. And that was reflected here in that tornado risk, which is at 10% in that same area, the crosshatching meaning F2 or greater tornadoes possible. Now, doesn't mean we will have any of that, but at least the potential would be there if anything gets going. So that's where we stand. And then the rest of the tri-state at a 5% risk of tornadoes and damaging wind risk at 15%. These numbers, by the way, I know it's kind of abstract, but the 15% chance means that there's a 15% chance you would see damaging winds at your location, anywhere here in the area. So while it's still kind of a low probability, it's not a zero probability. So here's what's happening on the radar right now, and this is really how you do it, at least when the weather's actually occurring. We call it nowcasting because we're just looking at the radar, watching the storms develop. And what I've noticed here, at least this afternoon thus far, is that when we get a storm to develop here, and I'll show you what I mean, they will reach a point where they are intense and then they rapidly dissipate. And what I think is happening here is we've got a lot of wind shear aloft, and so these storms kind of grow up and then boom, they get, kind of dispersed up there. Now that's the same wind shear, by the way, that if it is oriented with the storm in the right way, could produce the twists that you would need for tornadoes. But we've not seen that. Our tornado watch goes until 8. If you've been outside, you know it is warm and somewhat humid out there. So we can't let our guard down just yet, even though at least for the time being, it has been pretty quiet. The areas to our north, up here around Terre Haute, Interstate 70, are really more primed for tornadoes this afternoon and severe weather. But again, we've not seen any warnings in that area. The only severe thunderstorm warnings we even have right now are near Louisville, and that's all along the warm front. You can see the warm front almost traced there by where the storms are located, and then the cold front still back to the west of the Mississippi River. So that warm front would likely be the driver of the tornado threat this afternoon. But the farther north it gets, you don't have that wind shear as great. It's more concentrated along the boundary. So the bottom line here is I think we're still going to watch some storms bubble up. We've got some lightning up there around Mount Carmel right now. But at least for now, we've not seen any severe weather. The clouds did part this afternoon, and that sunshine did allow temperatures to climb to near 70 degrees. Let's see where we are right now. I saw 70 earlier. We're back at 68 with winds out of the south at 11. Looking at current winds, of course, they're all out of the south at 15 to 20. We could see some higher gusts this afternoon. The dew point, and remember we've been talking about the importance of dew points being at 60 or greater in order to really maximize the severe threat. We're right at the cusp right now. Most of the dew points running close to 60 or in the upper 50s, so sufficient for some thunderstorms. This is yet another head scratcher today. Our model, and this is our model, the graph, but I also looked at the HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh, and we look at that one every hour, really have backed off on anything developing around the tri-state, right down in here. Maybe a few showers by this evening and a little later on, and it may be a case where the best dynamics have shifted to the north. But just because the model says it's not going to do anything doesn't mean we can just blow this off. So we're going to keep an eye on it for you, but at least right now, you know, knock on wood, we'll get through this thing with just a few showers, and that'll be that. I hope I didn't just jinx us. I have a terrible, terrible history of downplaying and then stuff blows up. So at least for now, have that plan. Pay attention. If we do get a warning, of course, seek shelter if it's for your area. The bigger picture here reveals that warm front boundary and the storms along it there racing up to the northeast. And then behind it, we have the potential here for some storms to develop along the cold front. So that would be our next opportunity. As long as we're kind of here in the warm sector right now, we need some kind of trigger to get the storms going. Through the weekend, we can anticipate some rain, maybe a little flurry or two there on Saturday. Otherwise, it's going to be dry but cooler as winds come down from the north, and maybe another shot of rain there by Wednesday and Thursday next week. So that gives you kind of the longer range view, which I'll have more of on 14 News tonight at 4. For tonight, we will drop back to 40 after the rain and possible thunderstorms move out, and then only up to 51, but clear skies. So sunshine tomorrow, and the 7-day forecast is more wintry here over the weekend with temps in the mid-30s, but we do bounce back into the 50s there by the first part of next week. I'm going to look at any questions or comments you might have here on the 14 News Facebook page. I probably should have mentioned that we are on the 14 News Facebook page. Hopefully I will find us here. Let me double check. And the other thing I want to make sure that we emphasize, well, I don't see it. I hope I'm going out over Facebook. Pretty sure I set that up. Anyway, I won't be able to answer your questions then if I can't find it. I will try it one more time here, and if we don't get it, we don't get it. We'll just have to go to Plan B. Oh, there I am right there. Oh, okay. No, that was, okay. Arden shared that over. Here we go. All right. Now we have, well, we have a lot of you in here, so I'm sure there will be questions. I know there's high interest. This is really our first bout of severe weather potential this year. I'm going to go ahead and just leave the radar up behind me so we can kind of watch things as I answer the questions here. And we will get that up for you in just a moment. There it is. And I'll go ahead and zoom in just on that little cluster of storms up there. One thing that we do, especially when we have storms developing, is we'll put a loop on there, and that gives you a good idea of the trend, you know, whether they're getting stronger or weaker. And so while we do that, I'm also going to turn lightning on, and I don't have the right glasses out here to read. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Simon Lingwell, so no severe weather this afternoon. Not so far. We still have the potential out there. The atmosphere, it has a lot of the right ingredients in it. It could be just this case of where everything isn't really lined up all together at once. Mary Beth Rush, hoping nothing bad. Well, we're all hoping nothing bad. Only dribbles at my house by Bossy Field, says William Raleigh. Let's see. Our watch is out now. Yes, we have a tornado watch until 8, Angie. So that, but remember, watch is just that. It means conditions are favorable. It doesn't mean we will actually get the severe weather. It just means the conditions are favorable right now. Time frame for our area, Union-Henderson area, Union County, Henderson County, which would be down in here. I'll pull that back up a little bit. It's really any time now, between now and about 7 or 8 o'clock. But as I've shown you here, we've had nothing over western Kentucky in the last hour or two. And even these storms that are moving up through Wabash and northern Posey County really have not done much either. A little lightning in there, but just garden variety thunderstorms at this point. Elijah Nafong, western Kentucky going to miss out. It's certainly possible, you know, and it could be this will be a bust. And, you know, sometimes that happens too, where even though we have all the conditions in place, sometimes it just doesn't happen, which is the better way to fail than having it happen and not being prepared. So just to recap here, we are under a tornado watch until 8 o'clock tonight. Don't let your guard down just yet, even though the radar for the most part is clear over the tri-state, and we do have some sunshine out there. I think the next likely trigger is going to be the arrival of the cold front, and that's still several hours out. That won't happen until after 7 o'clock or so. But again, when we have that colder air then interacting with the warm, moist air out there, we could see some thunderstorms pop up. That's all I have for you right now. Of course, I'll be on 14 News at 4, 5, and 6 today, and again on the stream at 9, and then 14 News at 10. We'll take you every step of the way. If we have warnings, you'll see those over on 14 News. We'll jump in on the Olympics and give those, and maybe hop back here on streaming, depending on the severity and the spread and everything else. I think as we mentioned yesterday, and Arden reiterated this morning along with Michael, we're expecting scattered thunderstorms. So not like a big line, not a huge, everybody has a warning, but kind of like this, where you just have one that could become severe briefly, or even, produce damaging winds or a tornado. They are moving rapidly, so this isn't going to be one of those events that lingers and languishes. It's going to come and go real quick. But right now, just hang in there and sit tight. Hopefully we'll get through it without much more than a few thunderstorms and maybe a warning or two. I'll see you on 14 News this afternoon. Thanks for joining. Jamie French will be with me then, and we'll have the news and weather for you for the Tri-State. Thanks for watching.